Welcome to this explainer. We are stepping directly into a radical marketing workshop simulation today. We're going to meticulously unpack this fascinating concept of irreverent promotion that we pulled right from our source text. So get ready to completely throw out the traditional business rulebook because we're looking at strategies specifically designed to shock, confuse, and ultimately captivate an audience. Okay, let's dive into this. Give all your customers a new car. I mean, let that sink in for a second, right? We're so used to standard promotions, maybe a small discount or a loyalty point here and there. But giving away an entirely new car to every single customer, it sounds like a fast track to instant bankruptcy. But see, that initial shock value and the absolute guarantee of viral word-of-mouth marketing, well, that's exactly the point. When you actually do the math on customer lifetime value and the sheer volume of organic press you generate, sometimes the wildly expensive upfront giveaway mathematically beats a traditional, boring ad campaign.
Moving on to Section 1, the Radical Marketing Module, Entering the Crazy Space.
So when participants enter the Crazy Marketing Strategy module, they aren't just handed a textbook on standard conversion rates or cost per click metrics. No, the core requirement here is to first look at and really analyze strategies that intentionally defy traditional business logic. You literally have to immerse yourself in the irrational before you can even begin to uncover the psychological genius hidden right behind it. Which brings us to part 2, breaking down crazy strategies, deconstructing the paradox. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the inherent, almost playful paradox of this specific example. 3 scoops for a quarter is too many. Think about the logic here for a second. A quarter for 3 scoops of ice cream is incredibly cheap. I mean, it's practically a giveaway. So why on earth would a business restrict it? Why tell the customer that 2 is too many? Well, it's considered a crazy promotion because it creates this bizarre sense of scarcity and irreverence around something that is already wildly abundant. It completely scrambles the consumer's expectation of value. It makes them stop, think, and suddenly desire the product way more than if it were just a standard run-of-the-mill discount. And then the module throws another curveball at us. We have the wild concept of a crazy strategy on one hand, and on the other, the surprisingly mundane action recommended, simply raise your prices. It's fascinating to contrast that wild, chaotic concept with this highly counterintuitive action. Normally, businesses drop prices to drum up hype, right? But raising them? That forces the market to entirely reevaluate your worth. It's a highly calculated psychological play that immediately positions your product as a premium, highly desirable asset. Because, as we know, people naturally assume a higher cost equals higher quality, and that can completely transform a brand's identity pretty much overnight. And this brilliantly illustrates the incredibly diverse spectrum of chaos that this module introduces. Think about it. We have restrictive abundance with the 3-scoop limit, we have absolute financial absurdity with free new cars, and we have counterintuitive valuation just by raising prices. These are 3 wildly different logistical shocks. Participants are forced to review, process, and ultimately learn from these exact scenarios. The big takeaway here is realizing that the absolute most effective marketing often does the exact opposite of what the consumer has been trained to expect. Now let's jump into Section 3. Your turn, create 1, the final requirement. Let's move to and see how this builds a really simple but genuinely daunting progression for the curriculum's chronological flow. Step 1 is to look at crazy marketing strategies, which, hey, we've just done together by analyzing those paradoxes. But step 2? That's where you create a crazy marketing strategy of your own. You actually have to take that irreverent energy and the underlying psychological ROI from step 1 and effectively channel it right into your own original rule-breaking idea. So the crucial point is, are you ready to break the rules? Because the text leaves participants with this ultimate demanding question. What is your crazy marketing strategy? Really think about it. If you had to completely abandon traditional logic to capture an audience's attention today, what would you do? Take these principles of irreverent promotion, embrace the sheer absurdity of it all, and think about how you could playfully disrupt your own market. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and until next time, keep thinking radically.